Hi and welcome. Elaine Marolakos Edelson here with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. So today we're going to be talking about the lunar eclipse through the astrological houses. And if you know what your chart looks like, then you will know where 13 degrees and 38 minutes of Capricorn is. And for the rest, I'll just be giving general information for each of the houses that also applies to each of the signs. Or if you know your rising sign, that too. Come say hello to me. We are going to be talking for quite some time. I want to get started early and get through all of this really powerful info. The lunar eclipse, we had a lunar eclipse on June 5th, 2020, if you're watching this in a replay, and that was in Sagittarius. And then on June 21st, June 20th, we had a Cancer solar eclipse along with a solstice. Big time stuff here. And then on July 4th, 2020, we will be having, or will have had, if you're watching this in a replay, a lunar eclipse in Capricorn, 13 degrees and 38 minutes. Now, if you don't know me, then you don't know that I say, what I'm about to say, is that the planets in astrology don't do anything to you. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos, so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. It's just part of, who we are. We feel everything. When you make a move, the planets reflect that by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So basically, astrology tells you what time it is. Is it the lab report that you get that tells you, or is it your body, that tells you? So it's your mind, your perception, your whole sense of self and being that's making the decision. There is no planetary aspect in this world that is going to force you to do anything. However, the sun and the moon are not planets. We have a star and a moon, and we have a direct correlation between how we feel and what we seem to process during those times. And so the solar eclipse, and they always happen in tandem, solar and lunar together, 2 weeks apart every 6 months. This summer, however, we're having a sandwich, and that is the lunar in Sagittarius, the solar in Cancer, the lunar in Capricorn. Blah! Get some popcorn and let's watch the show. I think we're already watching the show, right? So let me say hi. Vicky's here. Hello. Deborah's here. Taurus, Pisces rising, Aquarius moon. And Lucy's here as well. Come join me. Say hello. This is a very momentous time because we are faced with breaking the norm and looking outside what we think are boxes. But honestly, people, there are no boxes. It's your limitation. It's your ability to make a choice. It's your moment in the sun. This is look, I wrote so many notes today. I don't know if you can see all that. I wrote so many notes today for the houses and the sun signs and the rising signs. Hey, Christine's here. And Rhonda's here. You're on time. You're always on time, no matter where you go, because there you are. Brittany, hi. So, yes, I'm glad you're here. And I have so many cards, and, my husband walked through the room, then he said, "Are you throwing bones this morning?" Yes, I was conjuring and working it out for everybody and all the signs. Okay, if you don't know where 13 degrees, 38 minutes of Capricorn is in your chart, then I don't know, Dean, are you listening? Because he's had some conferences today. I think I could probably find the link, and you can go get your free chart, and then from there you get a free sun sign reading. And let me see if I can find it. I'm looking on another page. Wait a minute. I'm going to find it. I'm going to be so technically adept today in so many retrogrades. I'm so proud of myself. All right, let me see if this works. Copy that. All right, I'm going to post it right here. Did it work? Yes! It worked. Okay, so that's where you can go to get your free chart and a free sun sign reading. And then consider the $37 report on you, your information, your personal information. And it's packed with bonuses, Mercury retrograde, Moon void of course, tap your intuition. So it comes with a lot. Okay. I slept really well last night, and I did a huge meditation this morning. And in the meditation, I felt this excitement. And I know there's so much going on. You look at the news and you just think, I can't look at the news. And you might look in the mirror and say, is that another wrinkle? Or did I gain 5 pounds? I can't look in the mirror. The excitement that I felt was about the redistribution of thoughts and feelings. So it's like, throw it up in the air, it spins around, it plops down, you get to reassemble. So now is your chance to reassemble. All these retrogrades that we're having is your opportunity to go within. That's what retrograde means. It's Latin, it means step back. So step back and look at, what are the things I really want to be doing, saying, thinking, feeling, expressing? Who do I want to be? Because we get stuck in a loop, and then we have, I got to get the laundry done or pick up the kids, or, I got to go things, blah, blah, insurance, blah, 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 and then we're not who we're here to be. Then we're going through some kind of motion, and it's like it's like a television show, and the rerun is on autopilot. Are you on autopilot? So when I woke up this morning and I was meditating, and I was literally moving, pulling in light from all the stars in the universe, pulling in light into every cell in my body, and helping my bones, and strengthening my resolve to be more of me in as many moments as possible. I want you to do the same. And why? Why, Elaine, why would we do that? Well, because the rewards are wow. And so anytime we have an eclipse, lunar or solar, but mostly lunar, it sheds light on the feminine energy. It could be an actual woman in your life. It could be you if you're a woman. It could be you if you're a man and you are trans. It could be you and you're transitioning. It could be you if you are just contemplating how you allow yourself to receive or not. Allowing yourself to receive. Giving and receiving are verbs. Allowing, that's the bridge between the two. So I think that's important as well, right? What is going on? I don't know. My desk moved. Let's see, what else was I talking about? Oh, lunar eclipse is about letting go. But first we have to delve into the shadow. Now, if you are new to the shadow, it's scary because you think, oh no, I stepped on somebody's toes. I have to apologize. I can't stand that person. I don't want to talk to them. I don't want to resolve. I'm just going to pretend it never happened, and I'm going to go over there. And then you do that for 3, 5, 10 years. And the same kind of person keeps coming into your world. Because you are the movie projector. Your energy gets projected out into this universe, and everything you think, believe, and feel, conscious or otherwise, that would mean non-conscious, unconscious, self-conscious, gets projected outward, little particles of light, and then you attract. So what are you attracting right now? Do you like what you see in your life? Shelby's here. And Eileen says, this eclipse hits my second house. I need money for school tuition. Okay, so I'm going to go through all my notes, and let's just get right into it. And I want you to pay attention. I want you to pay close attention, because it's not a thing out there that's going to give you something. It is your ability to transform a thought, a feeling, or the combination of the two, and a pattern, and then suddenly a door opens that you never, imagine a door opening in your bedroom or your house where there is no door. It's like a magical portal. All right? Do you get it? So your energy is going to move this. So if you want more money, or if you need anything, hi Kate, how are you feeling, by the way? if you need health, if you need wealth, passion, purpose, up your vibe right now, please pay attention. All right, we're going to start with Capricorn, and that's the first house because the lunar eclipse is happening in the first house, Capricorn. If this eclipse is in your first house, let's look at it this way. It's in the sign of Capricorn, right? And Capricorn is very stoic energy. So if the eclipse is happening in your first house, and you happen to be a Capricorn sun, rising, or moon, or you have Saturn in Capricorn or some major placement in Capricorn. We also have Jupiter in Capricorn, Pluto, Saturn, all retrograde in Capricorn. Yeah, we're looking at bones, skin, teeth, joint, the basic structure. All right, we are now talking about the first house in astrology. The first house is typically in the general chart Aries. But this eclipse is falling in the first house because we're starting with Capricorn. How are your bones, Cap rising? How are your nerves? Your hormones doing okay? I don't know. Your joints, your fingers, your spine, your back, your mind. It's all about personality and body parts, Capricorn. And this is a high, it's like you're the high priestess or the high prince right now of mystery. And you want to take the arcane and make it real. Take a meditation to calm you down. Yeah, you might be taking calcium for your bones. Be careful. Calcium builds, and check with your doctor always, calcium builds density, but not strength. And so, you want to look at the whole overall picture. If Capricorn lunar eclipse is falling in your first house in astrology, this is about childhood traumas that come up, and Capricorn does rule the knees and the joints, the bones, the nails, and the teeth. So if you've got issues with structure, I want you to go back, Capricorn, sun, rising, moon, and think about a deep surrender. And it may be, even when you're having sex, do you let go completely? Are you vulnerable, or do you fear? Do you hold on, control, because you fear vulnerability? This is a very magical time because we're bringing out the shadow. And Capricorn, sun, rising, moon, first house in astrology. If you are releasing anything dealing with a woman or feminine energy, and it can be the victim's voice inside of you that disallows prosperity, health, wellness. If you disallow, then you're going to feel it more in your skin, your teeth, your bones, your joints, your knees, the basic structure of your body. Okay, makes sense? So what I want you to see is that this is a magical time, very magical time. Lunar eclipse in Capricorn. It doesn't always feel good to recognize when you are limiting yourself. First house, Capricorn, sun, rising, moon. It doesn't feel good. But this is a regenerative time. It's a very transformative time. So if you can take parts of the day and say, okay, for this amount of time, I'm going to do this thing because I know I need it, and stop pushing beyond your limitation and your threshold, then you're going to see immediate magical results. Okay? Makes sense? All right, we're moving on to the 12th house. 12th house in astrology deals with the psyche, the connection to the divine. If you are an atheist or agnostic, then it deals with the mental and physical limitations that you have created for yourself. It also is a very profound place of healing. Typically in astrology, the 12th house deals with prisons or hospitals or places of recuperation, could be a rehab center, it could be an outpatient clinic. But basically, the why that a person is in these places is because of the self-saboteur. The self-saboteur. And no, I don't speak a word of French. Let me just check in real quick. Okay, things are moving. Hey, hi, Casey. Kate, I'm so glad you're feeling better. Okay, now, 12th house in astrology. With the lunar eclipse here, Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon, you are going to feel this the most. And I want you to contemplate the seed of abundance. You may be thinking, oh yeah, I want to heal that part of my body, or I want to do that thing, or I want to go over there because they look like they're having fun, because I'm not. And you start to move into a downward spiral of it's never going to work. There isn't enough. This is what I've always said. Well, not always. Always and forever. Only when I was doing astrology have I any time always said this to Aquarius, sun, rising, and moon. There is enough of everything to go around. There is. But if you don't believe that, then that's the seed that corrupts the garden of your abundance. Okay? So 12th house in astrology is the unconscious connector. It's the subconscious connector. Now, the subconscious is, wait a minute, I feel something. I just haven't put my finger on it. The unconscious is, it's what you don't know that you don't know. So if you are not in counseling right now, 12th house, lunar eclipse in Capricorn, Aquarius, sun, rising, or moon, this might be a really good time to explore why you keep regenerating the same self-sabotage over and over again, or your certain parts of your body may not be able to heal. Again, that is the hormones, that is the basic structure, skin, teeth, bones, nails, spine, and the knees too. Okay, so aside from the physical body, Capricorn is an energy for the 12th house people that it's just the doom and gloom. It's the stoicism. It's why bother? They're not going to hire me, especially now. What? So if you find yourself going to a negative place or attaching to a limitation that someone's seed is growing in your head, it wasn't even you thinking it. Someone said to you, "Oh yeah, you don't want to be a freelance artist." Our kid is an Aquarius rising, and they have great teachers at school. But several of them are struggling because they're not marketers and they're not business people. So of course they pass along it's really hard right now in this economy. So we said to our kid, okay, listen, you are going to be creating your future. I want you to take all those little clay, I don't have any, but clay structures little figurines that you make, and you go do something with them. And so they did, and they got online, and with the support of their friends and other teachers, they overcame that thought of I can't. And so I can't. So they overcame it. But now you need to go further to the seed of why is it there at all? Yeah, I'm not asking for much, right? 12th house. Okay, now 11th house. I'm going to plow through these. I really am. 11th house, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. The lunar eclipse in Capricorn at 13 degrees, 38 minutes for Pisces in the 11th house. Typically the 11th house deals with memberships, associations, groups, friends, your dreams coming true, elders, mentors. But for you right now, when I look at the charts, what I see is you need to utilize your magic, especially when dealing with children. And that could be your own inner child. That could be grandchildren, your kids, and it doesn't matter what age. It can be when speaking to someone that you think might misinterpret. Not to doubt yourself or second guess who you are or what you have to say, but during the expression in the 11th house right now with the lunar eclipse, there might be a woman or it could be a close friend, a relative. It could be mother, sister, daughter. It could be, again, your own feminine self. But I'm looking at the group situation in you. 11th house, Pisces, sun, rising, and moon. During this lunar eclipse, of course, the lunar eclipse is on July 4th and in America. And that's our Independence Day. So I want you to feel this freedom to use your magical self to create a picture for someone who's feeling stuck or stubborn or limited or restricted. And that's like you, I'm not saying go be everyone's counselor, 11th house, Pisces, sun, rising, moon. But what I am saying is that if you let go of a role, maybe, that's your son and he's now 27, and you're a Pisces and you want to, he's going through a rough time. Let me help. Maybe helping now is saying, I have faith in you. I believe you can do this. Because that alone is a magical vibe that helps to lift other people up. When you have an expectation of someone to do something and they don't, of course, we all feel disappointed. Anytime there's an expectation, we feel like, why didn't it happen? But when you're talking to people now, especially in groups, I want you to let go of the maternal role and not tough love. No, I don't like that expression because that's like, throwing somebody in the deep end of the pool. That's how I see that. But more of I have faith in you. And, I just read a book on, or I just took a class on, or I know you love crystals and fluorite is magical, So however you can express yourself to the group, you're also going to lift your own vibe. When we hold other people in a higher light, they may not reach it. We're not looking to have that expectation, but we're doing them a service. And it's not at the sake of ourselves. Okay, Capricorn energy is famous for being either really stubborn, it's a cardinal energy, stubborn, or service at the sake of themselves and denial. And it's a karmic energy. So when I look at Pisces in the 11th house in astrology, I want you to cut the ties that bind, yes, but offer something magical in return. A piece of music, a website, a link to hitrecord.com is a magical place. Joseph Gordon-Levitt began this whole website to connect people. He's an Aquarian, I believe. And he connects people with their talents. And there's a prompt. If you're a writer or a musician or a poet, or you're a vocalist, and you want to connect with other people, you're a filmmaker. So there's a link called hitrecord.com. And so things like that, okay? 11th house, this is a time to raise the vibration of others, not by expectation, but by letting go. Remember, the lunar eclipse represents letting go of the idea that it's up to you to take care of them. I have a client who's a Pisces and is writing a memoir about what it was like to raise many children. And so, and through that process, there's a lot of sentimentality. There's a lot of angst. There's a lot of anger. There's a lot of crying. There's a lot of, oh my God, I miss those days. Okay. So 11th house with this lunar eclipse, I want you to shore up your resolve that you have something wonderful that you can offer someone. Go do that. 10th house, Aries. Okay. Aries, 10th house, sun, rising, and moon. On June 28th, which is just 3 days away. If you're watching this in a replay, we may be way past this, but Mars will be in Aries for many, many months to come. Hang on to your bootstraps, everybody. 10th house, Aries, sun, rising, and moon. The lunar eclipse, this is like the image I got was in Surf's, the chicken in Surf's Up. Chicken Joe, I think he's just like, he's going with it. He's riding the waves. He's just doing his thing. The 10th house in astrology deals with career, technically the masculine parent. If it's a single parent household, or if it's same-sex household, it could be the more proactive or the disciplinarian of that pairing, or it could be the absence of the masculine parent. And so with Mars and Aries coupled with the lunar eclipse in the 10th house, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, this is going to be letting go of something that's very old. Remember, lunar is related to women, and it can be mother, aunt, sister, self, child. But in the 10th house of career, it can be, maybe you're a writer and you're writing something about a grandmother. Or maybe you're thinking of retiring and you're ready to let go of that role. And they don't want you to go. Mars and Aries, it's like, well, we have more work for you. And in this, time right now, don't you want that work? And you're like, oh yeah, you've got the energy. You're thinking, I could do it, but let me do it from home. Everybody's home right now. But that's the attitude. It's like, let me do it on my own when I want to do it. 1 o'clock in the morning, not at 2 p.m. when you need it. So you're going to have to watch your rebelliousness, Aries, sun, rising, and moon. But at the same time, you're also going to be finding new employment or an opportunity or a resolution with the masculine parent. Now, you may say, I'm 97 years old. My father, did what he did. It's who he was. I don't need to go back in time. Okay, but if you carry a pattern that is the same as your father, then there's no expansion to be had. There's only loss, because lunar is loss. And lunar is also the depths and the shadow. So in the 10th house, Aries, sun, rising, and moon, I think it's important that you, as you ride the wave, like Chicken Joe, it surfs up, carefree and effervescent. I think it's time to look at your own masculine energy, no matter what gender, or if you're non-binary, utilizing proactive energy and really directing that surfboard in a place that gets you where you want to go faster, because time does just not move fast enough for Aries, sun, rising, or moon. Now, sometimes Aries rising sign, Aries sun sign is going to relate to this very specifically. Aries rising sign sometimes does not move forward because they have that unconscious, possibly subconscious connection to the masculine parent that says, oh yeah, it's like you adopt the masculine parent's attitudes in a very conscious way. Yeah, that's not going to work. They're not hiring, same with, as I said, with another sign. But, and so there's a lot more stall, or the Aries rising just jumps without even looking. So, and Aries moon is so impatient with every single feeling that it's, oh, there's something I could do. It's, circling the want-ads and going, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that, I could do that. Okay. Do you want to do those things? So you want to just kind of temper your actions, but also look at, where do you feel lost right now? And maybe you're a parent or a grandparent has passed away. Maybe this pandemic has caused a lot of strife and struggle for you, so that you're not able to get back to work or back into your routine. So then the frustration starts with Mars and Aries in your own sign, Aries, sun, rising, and moon. In the 10th house, it's about being proactive in a masculine way, but not an aggressive way or a passive aggressive way. Does that make sense? And to look at the things that really speak to you and say, we might not be able to leave this country because people are not paying attention to certain protocols. So Europe is considering banning U.S. flights. And you might be thinking, oh, I'm all ready to travel. I'm gonna blow this pop stand. I'm going. Now you can't. Now you're more frustrated. So whatever you can do, 10th house, lunar eclipse, is about changing the protocol. If you work online anyway, maybe it's working from a different room in your house. Or maybe it's having a different time of day. You just need to change it up, because letting go of the old is going to make room for the new in a very big way. All right? Aries, sun, rising, moon, that's 10th house. Now, the 9th house is going to be for Taurus. 9th house in astrology deals with, is this making sense? Okay, I hope so. I'll have to check in. 9th house, Taurus, sun, rising, and moon. The 9th house in astrology deals with a lot. Let me check off it's foreign matters, it's higher consciousness, it's higher education, and contracts. Also can deal with insurance matters. That's typically the 8th house, but it can spill over to the 9th house. It's your philosophy, your belief system. It's your ability to make something work to your advantage and then express it, like publishing or teaching, learning. So it's the higher vibe. We want the higher vibe in the 9th house. And so with the 9th house, if you are Taurus, sun, rising, or moon, you're looking at, okay, do I stay in school? Do I go to school? Do I travel? Can I travel? Are they going to let me out of this country? Let me out. How can I create a teaching program online? Maybe it's time I start selling my stuff from home. I have arts and crafts, I bake paintings, I write music, that kind of thing. If you're in a standardized type of work environment where people are now doing Zoom meetings and you've got to, fill your hours. I have a client who's an attorney, and this would apply to them. They cannot apply for certain a judgeship or what they were going to do, but they can bring home the briefs and work on them there, and then at the same time decide, how do I want to? Now what do I? I could do so many things now. So the opportunities, even with a lunar eclipse opening up in the 9th house, it's letting go of being. Okay, I don't want to insult anyone, but it's letting go of being childish and restricted by what they tell you you're supposed to be doing. The contract says, well, the contract is now null and void because I can't get there because of the pandemic. So now we have to create something new. Now we have to devise and design and strategize all on our own. So Taurus, sun, rising, and moon in the 9th house with this lunar eclipse is saying, as you let go of the dependency on a system, it brings up the victim in the 9th house, because you're thinking, I was on a program, a federal assistance program, and now I'm not. Or I had, what do they call it? I had a grant to write this thing for the scientific community, and now I can't. So for some people, the scramble is like, what do I do now? Taurus, sun, rising, and moon in the 9th house, lunar eclipse. This is your potential to choose which words, listen carefully, which words, which projects, excuse me, and contracts hold value for you. Because every eclipse works in tandem. So it's not just the 9th house, it's also the 3rd house. Using your thoughts, perceptions, beliefs. If you're listening to what other people tell you you can or cannot do, that's for anyone, right? Then it's not going to happen, because then you're going to start to doubt yourself. But now, literally, the sky's the limit. And okay, so if you cannot travel out of the country for a few months, okay. We get that. But what can you start to utilize? The words, not just speaking, it's inside in your mind. What words are you using to create your reality? I'm all about manifesting. Manifesting starts with the belief that I can do it. I may not know how, but I'm going to trust in the universe to help me and send me people, information, links, websites, reports, whatever that you need, okay? Ninth house, sun, rising, and moon, Taurus. Just choose your words wisely. The thoughts that you think, make them, Avra Kadavra is Hebrew, and it means I create as I speak. Let's go there. Okay, 8th house, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. 8th house. The 8th house in astrology deals with joint resources. And that could be finances. It can be insurance matters. It can be sexual energy. It can be sensual energy. Can be projects that you work on, information that is shared. It's also on the higher vibe. It deals with the open door to the cosmos. So it's dreams that you have, sleeping dreams, waking dreams. And when we look at legacy and elder care in the 8th house, we're looking at, okay, maybe you have a grandma, a mom, a dad, someone you're taking care of. Maybe they're in a nursing home and you're really worried because of the high rate of the pandemic spreading. So maybe you're thinking, maybe we take them to another facility, we bring them home. It can be, what do I do? What's my legacy? So the lunar eclipse in the 8th house, for many people, would refer to the passing of someone. Not necessarily for everyone, but it could mean the passing of. It could be the passing of the baton. Someone doesn't have to die to leave you an inheritance. They could just hand it to you and say, you know what? I'm good. I'm settled. I got everything I need. Here's some cash. Instead of the will, you don't have to wait now. Here you go. Now, what are you going to do with that? Now we need to research. I want you to be very careful, though, right in this time period of 5 retrograde planets. Well, actually, no, now 4. No, then Pisces, Neptune, so it's 5 retrograde planets, and a lot of them are in water. So you don't want to be underwater in 6 months. So you want to research your finances very carefully. You want to look at where you can invest your time, your energy, your money, and your knowledge. Maybe this is about coming together with a group that, especially if you also have planets in the 11th house, but maybe this is about coming together with a group and seeing how to solve the problem. I have a lot of teachers in my family, and they were saying things like, okay, I'm staying up till like 10, 11 o'clock at night just to handwrite things, Xerox them, photocopy, make packets, and literally drive them to some kids' houses who don't have a computer. So you might be thinking of, what's the best use of our collective resource? How can we put this into motion? So Gemini, 8th house, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. You might be thinking of, I don't have a will. Darn. It's time. I'm in my 50s, 60s, 70s. I got kids. I got grandkids. I should probably, talk to someone and research. A regular will versus a living trust. What does that look like? Or what is my investment doing right now? I know it's like we were told by our guy, just hang tight. Things are going to be waving. Just hang tight. But you got to check with your people. And then I'll have my people call your people. In fact, you can call your people from all over this universe. You've got starseed. This is lunar eclipse. So I have a cousin who used to have dreams. Her grandmother would give her numbers and she'd go play the numbers and then she'd win some money. That's an 8th house thing. So, tune in. Tune into what you can do. Remember, the 8th house is opposite the 2nd house. So this is about your money, their money. How you make your money, where you spend your money, how you invest your money, who's touching your money. And it's not just money, it's the resource. It's the source. Who are you in business with? Do you trust them? Are you doing all the work? You got to be careful of that kind of stuff. So it's how you partner. So I want you to take stock of who you are and where you want to go next. Gemini, sun, rising, and moon, 8th house lunar eclipse. Because you may have a belief that, and the expectation to go with that belief that, I have an ex and he's supposed to pay alimony and support, and I haven't seen a dime. So you put all your energy and thoughts on making him own it and pay up, when instead, you could be putting your thoughts on how else he's not going to budge. I can't make him change. So how else can I open the door? Remember, I talked the other day about Gemini, especially creating bridges. It's not always about you going out. And if you're a Gemini sun, rising, or moon, and you look at the legacy that you're leaving, your children, your grandchildren, or maybe you don't have any kids. Maybe you were never married, or you were married and you don't have kids. And maybe you're looking at, I want to support the arts, or I want to support that hospital right now, or kids who are suffering in this community. So you start thinking about how to work your magic. And the magic is not just earning money, spending money, saving money. That's important. Insurance matters as well right now. But it's, where does it start? Look at the portal behind me. It's like the energy comes in. And you might have a dream. You might have an inspiration. You might have a feeling that says, I think I could do this, whatever this is. Okay, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. And a good way to do that is look back 20 years, 30 years, if you're old enough, 15 years, and think about who you were then financially and what your fears were and who you are now. And you might think, it'll come. Then it was, I got to work so hard. I'm so scrappy. It's like, it's never going to come unless I get to do it myself. And so the control, Gemini energy has a lot of control, or wants to have a lot of control. But it's a mutable sign, so it can be very malleable. It can be flexible. You want to be like Mrs. Incredible right now and be flexible. All right, 8th house, Gemini, sun, rising, and moon. Let's move on to Cancer in the 7th house, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon. This is a tough one. Cancer, you have a solar eclipse right on you. And now you have the lunar eclipse right under you. You're feeling squashed, or you're feeling like you're expanding in so many different ways you never knew how. I'm so excited. Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, 7th house. This is all about partnerships. Now, we start first with marital partnerships. Now, if you are not connected to anyone, a significant other, then it brings up the loss of why, how come? Maybe you're recently divorced. Maybe you are widowed. I mean, sad things happen. But it doesn't mean you cannot have love again. It doesn't mean that. And there's love in many different forms. So until you decide or heal to get to that next place, now is a time, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon, especially with this lunar eclipse in the 7th house, that you look at what you think the losses are. Now, I know a Cancer whose husband in the next year cannot work anymore. So she's going to have to take on, the brunt. So it's like, okay, how do we reshape? Cancer and Capricorn are cardinal energies. They are proactive. They are doers, and they can sound like they walk into a space and they go, not so much Capricorn rising or Cancer rising, but it's the Cancer sun and the Cancer and the Capricorn sun will walk into a space and go, yeah, I'm taking over. All right, here's what we're going to do. You, let's get in line. And then there are the Cancers who hide behind someone who is that. I don't know. So letting go of the partner who might be this is what we're doing, or letting go of you being that person, means you come to terms with a new way of relating. So I want you, Cancer, sun, rising, and moon. This is 7th house now, the lunar eclipse in the 7th house. I want you to look at, what is your projection of self-love? We project everything that we have, everything that we are, believe, think, feel, whether we're conscious of it or not. Someone might walk across the store and go, why aren't you wearing a mask? What's wrong with it? And maybe you just took the mask off to sneeze and blow you. Who knows? But someone's ready to judge you. And when Cancer is feeling judged, they get highly defensive and they will snap at themselves, at the people closest to them. So if you, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, are feeling that you can't seem to get a grip on what the loss is about or who the partner is, and should you do the work? Or should they do the work? How about let's find what's the projection of self-love? Cancer Sun is finding a new way to work right now. Cancer Rising is finding out how they feel at all about everything. And Cancer Moon, with this particular eclipse, is looking at, I want to be in a partnership, or I love the partnership that I'm in. I think we can go further. I think I can put my trust in this person. And it may not be a romantic situation. It could be a business situation. And that does apply for all three as well. So Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, if you're not healing the, maybe you're blissed out in your marriage and it's like, yeah, you're having the best time. And, or you're single and you're like, yeah, I'm good. And you really are. And you don't feel the need to, I got to have a partner. I need that person, to take care of me. Or if you're good, then you're good. Then you will naturally attract to you a romantic partner. If you are looking at business partnerships or high-end clientele, Cancer, Sun, Rising, and Moon, in the 7th house, this is again an issue of projection. So if you want to attract really healthy business partners to you or high-end clients, and I want you to notate all of what you think are their failings or their faults, or there's this, that they're not enough of this. I want you to write those things down and then be objective. Really be truthful and honest and look at those words that you've written down and ask yourself, am I that? You know what? Sometimes I am. Or do I have a massive judgment against that? Because the polarity is going to show itself in a relationship. Business, marital, high-end clients. Now, you could be a very popular person in your industry. I have a few Cancers who are that. And right now you're going to get a lot of attention. And it'll be through a woman. And the attention could be negative or positive, who knows? But it depends on who you are and how you've been interacting. Remember, right now, this lunar eclipse represents your self-projection of love. So the more you love yourself, happy days are here again. Let's sing. Okay. Wow, I'm plowing through. It's only been 6 hours. This is a marathon. Okay. Now we're moving on to the 6th house in astrology. Hi, everybody. I want to get this going, so I'm going to get it going. The 6th house, Leo, Sun, Rising, and Moon. 6th house. The lunar eclipse here, first and foremost, I want to talk to you about how you take care of your body, your bones, your skin, your teeth, your nails, your spine. Is anything hurting? Are you sitting, acting, thinking, behaving, exercising in a way that harms your body? Question mark. If so, this lunar eclipse will take no prisoners. I mean, yeah, you're going to feel it. So I want you to be really kind to yourself. And no need to pound the pavement when maybe the pool is open and you can do some leg kicks and take the pressure off. Or maybe your body is needing something a little bit extra, or maybe it's had too much of something. And in a lunar eclipse in Capricorn, you got to watch those carbs, that need for bread and crackers and sugar. I'm keto, so I don't have any of that, but I've replaced all that. And I'm a Leo moon, that's why I'm saying that. And I've replaced all that with the keto version. I make muffins and crackers and cake, and there's no deprivation in my house. And no sugar. but I got plenty of good stuff. So you want to start thinking about what's the trigger emotionally, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, with the 6th house, the lunar eclipse in the 6th house. What's the trigger that gets you wanting to have that extra glass or bottle of wine or alcohol or that loaf of bread? What's the trigger? It's not, oh, I'm just so tired. Why not? I'll have a bag of chips. Okay. If it's once in a while, no great shakes. But if it's often, several times a week, every day, okay, you are harming yourself. Why? At the sake of what? What is the reason? Lunar eclipse in Capricorn is saying you are putting way too much pressure on yourself to what? Fill in the blank. To achieve, arrive, to make that thing happen. And it's affecting your relationships. So, or maybe you're looking at your partner. Let's shift the thing, because the 6th house in astrology deals with health, deals with work, and deals with community and political reform. So you might be lobbying for something, or, protesting with signs and nobody's showing up, or everybody's showing up with a mask and saying, I can't really see your face. I don't know. I can't tell what you're saying to me. It's not clear. I don't know how to feel about that. Or let's say 6th house also deals with small pets. Maybe you work for a vet and they've resumed operations. And now you're in there, and now your spouse or your lover or your roommates, they haven't been. So now you're taking on more of the work, or they're doing the work because you've been so focused on health. Now, if it's health-related stuff, maybe you're a doctor. Maybe you're a massage therapist, a chiropractor, a health practitioner. Maybe you're an energy worker. You work in Reiki. If you are a Leo, sun, rising, or moon, but especially the 6th house is where the lunar eclipse is going to take place, you're shedding old, outdated ideas of how to get it done, whatever it is, and those unhealthy habits. So if let's say you're working long hours because, you're the only lab in town, and 6 other labs shut down right now, and everyone wants a COVID test, or everyone needs a lab test, it's just overflowing, and you're working those extra shifts, and you come home and you're like, oh, I didn't eat today. And if you're working in a hospital, thank you for all that you're doing. But you got to take care of yourself. You just need to, right? And so you may be studying so hard for that test. Maybe you're going for a civil service job and you're studying really hard, and then you're like, whatever's easy, I'll just open a package of something that's got a million words you can't pronounce, and it's toxic. And you're ingesting that stuff while you're trying to keep your brain alive and get through the day and produce and perform. All right? So 6th house, you got to slow those patterns down, because it's affecting not just your health, but your performance, and it's going to affect your relationship if you're in a relationship. And that could be a coworker. It could be your pets, if you've got pets. It could be a spouse. And if you work with your spouse, yikes. It could also be that now's the time you've just come out of a healing phase, and you're letting go of the reason you got sick in the first place. Yay! Hooray! That means keep taking care of yourself. Keep doing what you're doing. Kind of stay on the path and do your thing. 6th house, Leo, sun, rising, and moon, those unhealthy habits, once you know, unless you are knocked on the head and get amnesia, once a person knows that they know something, they know it. So be responsible for your health, for your well-being. And if you are holding emotions in, that's also going to affect you. Remember the opposites. It's not just the 6th house, it's the 12th house. What's your mind gone through? Are you like so fried? Take care of yourself. Ask for help. That's going to help you too. All right, let's move on to the 5th house, Virgo. A little dry. I've been talking so much. How is everyone? Christine asks the question, will the free chart still work if I already used it for myself with my email? 1 email per free chart. Hope that answers your question. Okay. Vicky says, I'm so funny. I am? I'm Finny. I'm Finnegan. Finnegan. 5th house, lunar eclipse in Capricorn. All right, I want to sing. But like, like sing and dance. I just want to get a Virgo, sun rising and moon. There's 2 split factions here, and I'm going to be very somber and sober about the first, and that is, and then I'll sing and dance. If you have a child or a parent, a sister, a close friend, a lover who is suffering, this is a hard time for you. And what you can do is what you can do. And we're going to call in, I want you to put in, let's do an experiment, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, 5th house, lunar eclipse. I want you to do an experiment. In fact, everyone can do this experiment, but especially now, Virgo, 5th house, sun, rising, and moon. I want you to meditate on one need that you have. You've tried your best to help your daughter, to help your mother, to help your sister, to get this creative project going. The 5th house deals with romance, creativity, children, problem solving, risks. You've done your best. You can't seem to solve it. You're overwhelmed. You just can't. Maybe you can solve it, but you're exhausted. You can't. Your body, your bones, Virgo, sun, rising, and moon, your bones, your teeth, your skin, your nails. This is your support system. So if you do not feel supported by your kids, by your lover, by your close friends who, on the project that you're working on, if you're on a team and they're not helping, then they're harming. And it's about really opening your mouth and saying, I just had to take a pill, go to the doctor, have a test, go into surgery because I didn't know how else to deal with your lack of support for me. So I want you to think about that. And it could be that maybe you've done all you can for a child, and now the doctors have to take over, or their family, maybe they have extended family, maybe you have a son-in-law, or maybe your grandchildren are doing great, but you're not, and you can't see them. And so it's wearing on you. So whatever there's a disparity there. Whatever the disgruntled energy is, I want you to remember that you have power. That if you are expressing who you are, so now's a good time to journal. This is how I feel. And use 4-letter words. And use a lot of them. And rip up the paper. And move that stuff out of the way so that you can access your creative energy. And here's the exercise. I want you to give it 3 days. 3 full days. If there is something you cannot do, or something that you feel a lack of, I want you to talk to your guides, your angels, your spirit energy, your passed on loved ones. I want you to talk to those forces in the universe, starseed, that can help you, and ask for help. Ask for a sign. Ask for the thing to be taken care of. Ask for information to come your way, or information to go directly to the person. And I want you to write that down. Be very clear about your need. Virgo, sun, rising, and moon. 5th house. We're talking about lunar eclipse in the 5th house. Letting go of that, the role of mother. Letting go of a wife. Letting go of a lover. Letting go of the ability to recuperate quickly. Letting go of that helplessness. Sorrow, grief, okay? Because right behind it is this jazz hands, is the singing, is the, oh my gosh, I just manifested something. I just manifested with my mind, my body, and my spirit. That is the ultimate creation. The ultimate creation. And I am rooting for you. So what I want you to do, remember, is a 3-day experiment, Virgo Sun, Rising, Moon. This is 5th house lunar eclipse. Write down the one thing that you really need, or that you need for them. Because maybe you can't help your child, your lover. Maybe you can't help, but you want to see it, or the project. Be specific about the need, and then talk to the universe. Thank you in advance for helping. I appreciate the input. I really need blink that. And then you focus on it. And then you do a little energy exercise where you're creating, hey, I just turned invisible. And then you're doing a little energy exercise and you're creating a thought bubble. And that thought bubble gets bigger and bigger, and poof, you throw it into the portal. And it does its thing, and then it spins around. And by the end of the 3rd day, maybe the beginning of the 4th day, I want you to look around. Listen. Feel. What happens? What happens? Did you get something? Maybe you felt calmer. Oh, wow. I let go of it and I gave it up to the universe. And I feel so much calmer. Maybe it's just that. And just that is not like minimal. Okay, that's big. And then the worry goes away. Virgo and Capricorn are huge worriers. So, yeah, both earth signs trying to make things happen all at once. Does that make sense? Okay. Now, the happy part is then that feeling of, I could do anything I want right now. I could do anything I want. Jazz hands. You know, you're singing, you're feeling lighter, happier. You're younger. Maybe if you're younger, you want to make a baby. Maybe the grief just it dissipates, it goes. So now you're feeling inspired. Now, enthusiasm literally means deity on the inside. So I want you to find your enthusiasm in the 5th house. Virgo, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And maybe it just comes from holding that baby, or that puppy, or that kitten, or yourself. Holding yourself. Stop holding other people to help them heal, because that can weigh you down and hurt your bones, your skin, your teeth, your nails, your structure, right? Your hormones. It's not I have to. It's I want to. And then make sure you give enough to yourself to equal it out. Make sense? All right. La la. All right, cloud cover has changed the lighting in my office. I'm just going to do this very quickly. I'm going to put my fluorite stone right in front of the... Wow, that was weird, huh? Oh, and now it's worse. Okay, I'm giving it up. Eclipses, retrogrades, technology. I'm a ghost. It's okay. I'm spiritual. I'm so spiritual. Libra, 4th house. Here we go. Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. The 4th house in astrology deals with the home, the family, the structure, the 4 walls, ultimately your identity, and the feminine parent. Now, if you come from same-sex household, it's the one that's softer, or on the downside, it's the victim. It's also real estate investments. You could have a second property, or you're looking to buy or sell your own space. So, 4th house with the lunar eclipse there. Okay, there is something coming up and I feel angry. Libra, Sun, Rising, and Moon. I feel angry. And it's either your house is selling or you just moved and wait a minute, they told us, how come that's falling apart? And so like there's annoyance about the thing. Now it could be a property that is an investment property that you have. It could be the attachment to it. It could be maybe it's not the house itself. Maybe it's an inheritance from your mother, and you have that money and you want to invest in something. The 4th house really deals with your inner identity and ultimately what limits you. That comes from when you start to emulate the feminine parent. Silver is one of my favorite colors, but really, come on, it's kind of weird. It's a feminine parent issue we're looking at. Are you suddenly enraged? Was mom a rager? Was mom a rageaholic? Was mom passive aggressive? Did mom undermine you, undervalue you, invalidate you? Perhaps if mom is still alive, you can have that conversation. And I mean in person, not on the phone. Or if you live across the country, you can't actually see them in person. Then you write a letter never to be mailed. Dear mother, you ruined my life. Bleepity bleep you. Okay? Now you got to rip that stuff up. It's got to come out. And maybe it's about your role as a mother. It's like, oh, I have to let go of my kid now. They're going off to college, Libra sun, rising and moon. I'm so sad. Or they're, they live in another country and I haven't seen them for months. So look at the role that you have, the identity that you have as a mother or for your own mother. And when do you emulate mom? We need to move that energy right now. We need to let it go. And you might say, oh, it's her energy that's stopping me, but you're the one who's feeling it. So people can't do something to you unless you allow it, right? Yeah. So I want you to think about doing exercises, energy exercises, going into counseling, doing writing exercises, really just to let go of the anger around. And it could be I didn't like the way I was raised, or my mother was absent the first 5 years of my life. Or, I've heard so many mother stories. I really have. My mother, I tried to drown my grandmother. That's one of the stories I heard. Or I was adopted. And then I found my mother, and boy, I wish I hadn't. So there's going to be so many versions of what this can mean for Libra, sun, rising, and moon. And, Libra, you can be you're a cardinal sign like Cancer and Capricorn. You can be very stoic, and you can be very take charge, like, well, I just have to do it. It's going to be me. They're not going to do it. It won't get done. Okay. Because you are that way, if you are that way, then you're only going to attract people that fit that description. So now it's going to be, hey, I need help. Can we do it together? And spouse, family members look at you and say, oh, well, we just figured you had it because you always have and you never asked for, okay, sure. Or maybe somebody in your family is not able to. Maybe they're ill or they have issues where they can't help you for whatever reason. Maybe they have a disability or they're not coherent. Maybe you're taking care of your mom at home and you're like, okay, I just have to do what I have to do right now. So, but even in that, doing what you have to do, I want you to find time for yourself. It's not an extreme. It's not, I'm going to get to the end before I eat. No, because the lunar eclipse is going to make you feel disabled. Let me rephrase that. Nothing's going to make you feel anything, but the lunar eclipse is going to bring up your patterns that disable you. That's better. I just did an edit. Okay. Now the bright side is, what is your attention on? What is your purpose? Your inner identity is asking for freedom. Freedom from the maternal gripe. Are you willing to go there? And it can be also that you just miss your mom, or you miss your kids, or you miss the old house. And you can't, sentimentality is a big part of this eclipse phase right now. So you can revisit those things through photo albums and move the energy. The brain does not know what is real or imagined. That is a fact. So move that energy, move it. And then take care of yourself. Do something nurturing for yourself. Focus your attention on what is purposeful and productive, because that is the purpose of this lunar eclipse. It's helping you, it's shedding light it's casting a glow actually on the shadow part of you that says, I have anger and rage and wounds and hurt. And I need to move that energy because it's stuck in the walls. Maybe it's time to, paint or move the furniture around. Or maybe it's time to move. And so you're thinking about how we're in so many retrogrades and eclipses, so maybe now is not the time to actually vacate the premises. But maybe it's the time to figure out, okay, that's my new purpose. I'm really excited about, not, I got to get out of here. Because wherever you hold the energy, that's what you're going to produce from. Icky. Okay, Libra. I hope this has helped you. Is this helping? Does this make sense? Just checking in with everybody. I've been plowing through because I had so much to say. We've got 2 more to go. Scorpio is next. 3rd house in astrology. 3rd house. The 3rd house in astrology represents your perception and your beliefs. How you communicate. Your synapses that form in the middle of a situation. And you anchor that to an emotion. Here's the story I like to tell people. I want you to imagine that this again is for Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. This lunar eclipse takes place in the 3rd house. And I want you to imagine that you are at a supermarket. And as you walk in, you glance to one side and you see this guy staring at you. And you're like, oh, I shrug it off. And then you go down the aisle, you come up the aisle, and this guy's still looking at you. And you're like, oh, does something like, am I buttoned wrong? That would be my question. Do I know him? I don't know. He doesn't look familiar. You go down the aisle, up the aisle, and there he is again. He's looking at you. Why is he staring at me? Maybe he's a creep. You look around for store security. Or maybe he thinks you stole something. Maybe he is store security and he thinks you stole something. By the time you're up and down the next aisle, you're fuming. And you're like, I got to face this guy. What's wrong with him? And you've just gone through like all these emotions and you go up and you see this guy is blind. He hasn't seen you at all. Where did you go? You went on a roller coaster. And those thoughts, those obsessions that come up during this lunar eclipse time can also pertain to lust. When you make a decision that is not an intellectual, thoughtful, rational decision, but you come from a place of highly charged emotion, lust, obsession, anger, greed, let's just throw out all the vices, but also that feeling of need, like, that's my spot in the cafe. That's where I sit. Okay, sorry, didn't know. When you come off already full-blown tilt, ready to blow, we want to be careful, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. What's your expression? Where's the contradiction? It's not just about a negative emotion or feeling. It's about, you can say, oh no, yeah, we did it. It's all great. We did it. It's amazing. And deep down, you're thinking, that's not really true. or you tell someone to reassure them, it'll be all right. It will be all right. But it comes out in a way that it's almost like a demand because you don't have room for sentimentality right now. You don't want to be swayed by a vulnerable emotion. Ooh. Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. I want you to get clear on your motivation, no matter what. And your motivation could be, I want to help those people. Look, they're suffering. I'm going to help. I'm going to help. I'm helping. Right? So you have to detach. You got to let go of something. Whatever the thought is, that I'm getting this very strong feeling like you want the recognition. You need the expression. You need some kind of validation. But you're letting go of just like who was in the 4th house, Libra. Just like, and if you are a combination of Libra and Scorpio, this is even bigger. It feels like there is something that you were taught or told at a young age. You were abused. You were neglected. You were. Now you can be vindicated, but you don't have to emulate the behavior. So now the perception is, who am I really? If I'm not at war with those people, armchair politician, if I'm not upset with my neighbor, they just are who they are. I'm hearing gripes across the street. If I'm not this thing that is not really how I want to feel or think, then who am I? What's your motivation, Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon? This is all third house stuff. You want to get clear on the contradiction that's in you, because you might say, oh, yeah, I lost all that weight. It's great. And then you go for the diet candy that has so many chemicals that could, give you mimic neurotoxin stuff. It's like aspartame or NutraSweet. They have different names now, but you take it enough times and it literally will mimic the symptoms of a neurotoxin. Think about that, right? So when you're ready to think clearly, like, okay, what's my contradiction? What do I say? I say one thing, but I do another. Or I do one thing, but I say another. You want to get clear on that, because this lunar eclipse is going to bring it to you via a woman. And that person might just come and slap you in the face with it. But it doesn't have to be that. If you're not paying attention, that's what happens to people who are not paying attention. The world shakes them by the shoulders and said, I'm helping you pay attention. But if you're on it, you're meditating, you're being as kind as possible, you're being as present as possible. I want you to just look at what are your contradictions. You might say, oh yeah, I'm very in tune and I meditate every day, but yet you're depressed. There's nothing right or wrong about being depressed or meditating every day. It's not a judgment. It's the contradiction. Okay? That's all we want to look at. What is the contradiction? A depression, a lot of times, if it's not chemically related or nutritionally related, or an event, you're crying because something just horrible happened, and you lost your job or someone passed away. I mean, that's, you can go into a depression. When I'm just talking, like you're going through your day and you're like, yeah, I'm just whatever. I don't feel good. But you don't acknowledge it. A lot of times that represents a repression of emotions. There's the contradiction. So Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon, I want you to pay attention to the contradiction, because right now you can heal big time. And when you open that up, then you create new thoughts and new neurons. Your neurons, they look like they have a center electrical thing, and they have all these tentacles, and they come out, and then they repeat what you repeat. It's never going to happen. Oh, I can't stand that person. I have so much anger and rage. Why did they leave me? It's their fault. It's her fault. And then it creates more baby neurons that say the same thing. So you start cycling this pattern over and over again, that you just have to break the pattern. When a Scorpio energy, Sun, Rising, or Moon, breaks a pattern, they're good. They don't look back. But to get to that point, because Scorpio is a fixed sign, fixed water sign, it's a very earthquake is coming. But it looks on the outside like, yeah, everything's cool. I got this covered. So if you are in a contradiction right now, own it. Just own it and love yourself. You are pure conscious love. And so then you can create thoughts and new neurons that say, I really am supported. I was having a big fat hissy fit, and now I'm letting it go. But make sure that you do. Make sure that you let it go. Write it out on paper. Have a conversation with someone that you have a gripe with, but not in an accusatory blame way. Stay in I messages. I was really hurt by being overlooked. Can we talk about that? Or I just want to, there's something going on with us and it's not verbal. I don't know what it is. Is there something? Because I'm sensing something. And maybe it's just me, but I want it to be clear between us. Because you want to always put forth the passion and the desire that you are of love. And not the negatives. Feel the negatives, deal with the negatives, so that you don't project the negatives. That's what I'm saying. Scorpio, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And then what happens is a whole lot of words come, a whole lot of feelings that you could write a book now. You might say, oh, I was traumatized when I was 12 years old. I've been carrying this energy forever. I finally just let it go this past year. And especially during these eclipses, I let it go. And now I'm going to write a book about it. Or now I'm going to be a spokesperson about it. Or now I'm going to write a blog about it. Or now I'm going to communicate with others and help them. ER nurse. And then I got sick and then I healed. And this is my story. And I want to help others who are working so hard to help others. So it's a little bit more convoluted when you won't allow the feeling to emerge, Scorpio sun, rising, and moon, but you can do this. Scorpio moon has a harder time letting go of rage and anger because of the wound. There's always a wound behind behind anger. There's like you feel betrayed somehow, especially for Scorpio moon. So you want to think about that and say, I feel like acting out because I lost my job, or, they left me, or they stole from me, or this thing happened to me, or everything is great, but I just feel like crap. Why? Where's the contradiction? That's all you got to find. And it's not that hard if you start journaling and start writing. All right. And then you'll be inspired. That's when the inspiration comes. And it's like, oh, okay. I was afraid of my own power, Scorpio sun, rising, and moon says. I was afraid of actually expressing myself for fear of causing harm. Let's get it down on paper first, and you mitigate a lot of that excess intensity. Okay, last but never least, Sagittarius, second house. Second house in astrology deals with your income, finances, and also your self-worth. The second house it depends on what planets are there, but with the lunar eclipse there is a loss, and there's a sense of loss, and it can be an actual real cash. Maybe you lost your job. Maybe your health has been compromised, and because of that, they won't let you come back right away. Maybe you still have your job, or maybe you found it harder to work at home because of all the distractions. I saw on when COVID, the whole thing first started, I heard on NPR, excuse me, talking so much, that a professor, excuse me, a professor had to work from home. And this is what she said. I'm outside on my computer trying to teach a class online. My 11-year-old daughter, who is a gymnast, was practicing and doing cartwheels all around me. My 9-year-old or 10-year-old son was having a rage hissy fit and trying to tear a bush out of the ground, while his brother, and then she went on, and she's like, and I'm trying to teach a class. This was going on all around her. So when you find Sagittarius, sun, rising, and moon, that you're ready to build your worth from a place of not scarcity, not victimization, not there's not enough, but from that place of inspiration, that's when doors will open. You may have lost that opportunity, but we're all undergoing something, right, through this time period. And what you discover is, oh, I had it in me to do that. And I've always loved that. I just never considered it as a full-time gig or a viable financial solution. So I want you to look at how you can take something that you love and now start making money from it. You can go on Instagram. You can sell on Amazon, eBay, Etsy. You can come up with an idea with a friend. You can collaborate. The loss in the second house is not just money. It's the idea that the loss comes from you don't know who you are, that you don't think you're enough. This is the next phase of your self-worth. And you don't let anybody tell you can't, unless there's a guarded official with a gun at the gate saying, you can't get on the plane. No flights out. Okay, let's find something else. You're a free spirit. You're mutable. You can do something else, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And the second phase of your becoming is like seeing, oh, wait, I just checked my boxes and I realized 2 out of the 3 boxes that I have, or I'm thinking of, or 4 out of the 5, or 8 out of the 10, I'm not authentic. I say I trust, but I don't. I say I'm carefree, but I'm not. I say I'm happy, but I'm really upset. Again, we're looking at contradictions. So you want to be authentic. Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon. When your authenticity shines, people feel it. You're genuine. It's okay not to feel okay. Absolutely. Someone says, "Hi, Sag, how you doing?" You go, well, whatever. Anyway, how are you? No. No. Lunar eclipse is going to bring to you a woman who says, no. You don't minimize your feeling just because you don't like feeling yucky, just because you don't like feeling sad. Let's be authentic. Feel it. Okay. Aries, Sagittarius, Aquarius. No, not so much Aquarius. Leo, yes, but Leo doesn't always have a problem expressing when they don't feel good. It's just how they express it. But Sagittarius and Aries, they don't like the feeling. I mean, who does? But they don't like the feeling of anything less than happy or anything less than assured. Now, false assuredness is a contradiction. False assuredness, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, is saying that you're not worth the time. So if you're not worth the time, the money's not going to come to you. You know how we make it so much easier, Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon, in order to prosper? In order to get that. I'm so shocked. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. An opportunity just came my way. Eclipse seasons, they bring gifts to you. You just have to move the crap out of the way. Just dust the stuff out from under the couch. Get rid of the dust bunnies. Emotional dust bunnies. Be authentic on all levels and you will prosper. And opportunities will come to you and it will feel like magic. Now you may say, I don't know enough about this thing. Okay, so can you learn? There are so many teaching tools online. Books. Libraries are open. You can order. So watch that idea that I can't get it done or I don't have enough of something to get it done. Because that's part of the limitation, that you're not worth it. And you're so worth it. You're so very much worth it, Sag, Sun, Rising, and Moon. And especially now, you might be looking at, I just accrued all this debt. I was living off my credit cards, and now my job is in question. Okay, that's a real thing. So you want to be really calm about, I'm not alone. You're not alone. I'll say that to all the signs. You're not alone in this universe. You have cooperative efforts with angels, starseeds, passed on loved ones, with your higher self. Your higher self is not just a term. It is an actual presence. So I want you to tune in, Sagittarius, Sun, Rising, and Moon, to your higher self. Tune in to the portal that gets you to your higher self and ask for help. I'm ready to open wide. I'm ready to trust. I'm ready to be present with authenticity. And then suddenly you wake up or you walk through the kitchen and you say, I'm just so inspired right now. I have an idea. I don't know what it's going to do. I have an idea. But go, be wonderful with that idea. Express yourself. Write it down on paper. Organize it. Because you're building your next level of joy. Isn't that fun? That's fun. I think so. All right, folks, I feel high as a kite by now. Rocket Man. Yeah, that's my theme song right now. Okay, so I'll be back. What day is today? I'll be back again and we'll be talking more about the eclipses. And we're also going to talk about a perception in these retrogrades. It's a very cool perception, something that has been documented about a certain color. Oh, what does it mean? I'm not going to tell you. Anyway, I hope this was helpful for everyone, and that you really benefit by utilizing the information to be as present as possible and be sparkly too. Okay, I'll be back again Mondays and Thursdays, 10 a.m., unless otherwise noted, 10 a.m. Pacific Arizona time right now in this summer. Okay, folks, be well, be present. As always, I wish you peace. And dream a little dream. I'm disappearing.